Hey friends, it's Amy Dove, the Keto Queen. I hope you're having a great day. It's Monday, my favorite day of the week, and yes, I am back. Guys, I'm so sorry for being gone for so many days. Actually, it feels like weeks. I apologize, but I am back and I am ready to encourage and inspire you guys because that is exactly what my dad would want. He is one of my biggest fans of this page, and he always loved how I was able to help encourage people. So guys, if you're looking for a delicious, easy recipe, I've got it for you tonight. It's one of my favorites. It's what we call Keto Hamburger Helper, and it's so delicious, and there's very few ingredients. So the first thing we're starting off with is ground beef. Now, I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef, and you'll see I kind of double this recipe, but the ingredients are in the post for you. So when you get ready to try it, you'll see the link in this post. That's going to take you right to the recipe that calls for 1 pound of ground beef. So I'm doubling. Hey, Debbie, how are you? All right, so we cooked our ground beef, and the next thing we're going to do is put it back on a little bit of heat, and we're going to add some cream cheese. So I am going to use 6 ounces of cream cheese with this recipe. This is right at 6 ounces. I was wondering where you were. The dogs look like they were just so sad. All right, so we're going to cut the cream cheese. It's been sitting on my counter for a few minutes, but we're going to cut the cream cheese into little small bite-sized pieces. And we're going to turn the heat up because we want this cream cheese to start melting before we add our next few ingredients. Guys, I'm talking very few ingredients in this recipe. So we have the ground beef, we've got the cream cheese. Of course, we're going to use heavy cream because we're making a hamburger helper. So there is a little bit of sauce that is so delicious with this recipe. I told my granny I was cooking it tonight and was going to bring her some for tomorrow. So I'm cooking extra, so I'll have leftovers for Granny and Mom and me and Ricky to enjoy later this week. So if you've had this recipe before, I would love to know. In the comments, say I've had it and I love it. It's what we call Keto Hamburger Helper. Hey Francis, how are you? And if you haven't had this before, guys, I'm really excited for you to try something so delicious. So we have our ground beef. Can y'all see that okay? Hey Teresa. Hey Peggy. Thank you. It's so glad to see you guys too. Thank you for the continued prayers. Like, we're praying specifically now for Mom. And we've been praying for my entire family, but Mom specifically, she's doing so good, guys. She is doing so good. My kids are doing good. Like, we just have such a closeness that we get to do things together, all things. And my dad would want us to continue. Like, we have to continue. And one thing that my dad always bragged about is this page. He loved all of you guys who always constantly kept him in prayers. He loves that we get to encourage people and inspire people to do better and to be better through this page. So I was really excited to get home and do a video. It's been a little while since I've cooked, especially cooked live. So we're making what we call hamburger helper tonight. It's a keto hamburger helper. It is delicious. And if you've tried it before, in the comments said, had it and love it. I see Deb. She said, had it and love it. Kim had it last week. That's awesome. So we've got our ground beef, and now we're just melting some cream cheese. Now, if you're going to follow the recipe, it's 1 pound of ground beef to 3 ounces of cream cheese, but I'm doubling because I'm cooking for a few extra people. So we have 2 pounds of ground beef and 6 ounces of cream cheese. And you'll see that it's starting to melt. So this is the perfect time to add our next ingredient, which is 1 cup of beef broth and 1 cup of heavy cream. And we're just going to let this simmer for a couple of minutes here. We know that when heavy cream is heated, when it simmers, it gets a little thick. We want to create a little bit of sauce because remember, a hamburger helper comes with a sauce, right? So you can keep it as creamy or as liquidy as you want. But I like to have a little thickness to my sauces. So I'm starting off with 1 cup of heavy cream, and if I need to add more, I certainly can. And we're just stirring this together, and I'm going to turn the heat up long enough or high enough that I can see a good simmer start. And we only have a few special seasonings, guys. And when I say special, simple. A few simple seasonings that we're going to add straight to this mix. And those seasonings are onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I mean, the things that you have in your kitchen that you use every single day. One thing I love about cooking for you guys is I like to show you simple meals that everyone can cook and enjoy. And most all my recipes have ingredients that you just keep in your house. So there's no special running to the store to grab something special or something you might not even find because it's so limited. So salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. And we're going to go ahead and start seasoning. Now remember, I'm doubling this recipe, so I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. And I may taste it and add a little more because I'm doubling it. 2 tablespoons, no, sorry, 2 teaspoons. Let me take that back, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. And we'll taste it to see if we need more, because we are going to add 2 more ingredients. We've got some green beans that we're gonna add, and then we're gonna top it off with cheese because it is a hamburger helper. And I've never had a hamburger helper that didn't have some cheese. Most of the time they're cheesy hamburger helpers, right? So guys, if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments. I'm glad to be back, and I really appreciate all of your support through this time. You guys have been truly a blessing to me and my dad and my mom and my kids and Ricky, my granny. You guys have truly been a blessing, just praying for us and just giving us grace to have some time to ourselves and just time to process all the things that have happened. This thing is not working. I haven't cooked in so long, my salt has settled. And I am excited to get on track. Like I need to get on track with routine. I need to get on track with cooking and drinking more water. Like all of my health habits have really gone out the window. So look, I'm going to tell you the truth. I've done fairly well because in my past life, I would have already gained like 40 pounds. But I still want to get back to daily habits that create long-term success. And what I've been doing lately is not going to create that. It's actually going to sabotage me and go backwards. And I refuse to let that happen. I absolutely refuse it. So I'm really excited to be home cooking again, because this is exactly what me, myself, my husband, and my mom needs. Like we just need to get back to a routine. Hey, Alma, Granny is doing well. She is at home by herself. So yes, she graduated from physical therapy, and she has just really wanted to be by herself, to really see what she can do on her own. So we are still swapping turns and like taking dinner and getting her coffee ready so that she can just press the start button in the morning and just checking her mail and helping her, just visiting, honestly, just visiting, but we're not spending the night. So I really miss Granny. I really miss Granny. If you guys don't know, my Granny is 90. And she did just lose my dad. So right now, there's a honest struggle because, I mean, who's not going to struggle losing a child? But she's doing really, really well. So, again, continued prayers for my family as we just maneuver through these first several months, because it's just going to be different. Life continues, but it's going to continue differently. And that's okay, because the faith we have, guys, the faith we have and the strength that we get from God is really, it's absolutely unheard of. If you don't know, you just don't know. But if you know, you know the strength of God and all the power. And thank goodness we have that in our lives. So, all right, I'm just simmering this sauce. So we've got Keto Hamburger Helper. We've started off with our ground beef. Now I'm doubling the recipe, so I have 2 pounds of ground beef. And then when the ground beef was finished, we drained the grease and we added 6 ounces of cream cheese. And we let that cream cheese melt into the ground beef. And then we added a cup of beef broth and a cup of heavy cream. And we're just simmering this sauce. So this looks just like beef stroganoff. This looks just like hamburger helper stroganoff. The only difference is, instead of putting a pasta in our hamburger helper, we're using green beans. So green beans is going to replace the actual pasta. But guys, I'm telling you, it's delicious. If you've never tried this, you're going to love it. I promise you. It is. I was reading the ingredients to Granny today, and she said, oh my goodness, that sounds so good. And I said, don't worry, you're going to get some tomorrow. All right, our seasonings. Once we got this sauce simmering, we added a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons actually, because we doubled. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of salt and pepper. I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit, and I want to taste that sauce. Every utensil in my house is dirty. Like, I had a whole house full of people this weekend. I mean, a house full. We have a huge family. So there was probably 40 people, if not more, at my house Saturday after the funeral. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. The funeral was beautiful. Like, guys, everybody says their family's funerals are beautiful, but this was absolutely beautiful. That's good. That is so good. But this really was beautiful. It was a beautiful service. My dad would have been so proud. And I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it. But anyhow, we had a house full of people. The front porch was full. The back porch was full. The house was full. It was just overflowing with love. But because of that, everything in my house is dirty. Everything in the house is dirty. I have no utensils. It's like the only spoon I have left clean. All right, so we're just simmering this, and you'll see it's thickening. As we continue to go, it's going to continue to thicken. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my green beans. And this is going to change the seasonings up a little bit because we drained green beans. Now, I love fresh green beans, but I had to visit Granny today, and I'm in a hurry. So I decided this time I'm going with canned green beans. And for 1 pound of ground beef, I recommend 2 cans of green beans. For 2 pounds of ground beef, like I used, I'm doing four cans. Now, if you use fresh green beans, just steam them halfway. And that way, when you get them out of the steamer, you can softly stir them in. But look, I like more vegetables than meat. Ricky is the complete opposite, so he probably would have been happier with 3 cans of green beans. But look at it. I mean, it looks delicious. All right, so we're just I wanted to mix it together to kind of see how thick the sauce is, because I don't want runny sauce in my casserole dish. The last thing we're going to do, and this is if you want to move it to a casserole, you actually could leave it right here in this pan and top it off with some mozzarella and some cheddar and just let this simmer till the green beans are soft. But they're cooked. They're cooked, so everything in this is already cooked. But what I want to do is move it over to a 9x13 casserole dish. And then we're going to top it off with a little bit of mozzarella, a little bit of cheddar, and let this bake in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And it's going to let the green beans get soft. This is good. Let me taste one bite. Mine ain't cooked in so long. I haven't cooked in so long, so that is just yum, yum, yum. All right, I'm trying to decide on a little bit more salt. I think I just spit a piece out. I'm sorry, y'all. Live TV. I'm trying to decide if I want a little bit of extra onion powder. That is really good. I'm going to add just a little. I'm going to add like a half a teaspoon of onion powder. This is when I like to taste my sauces. I'm going to go ahead and do, since I'm adding a little half, I'm going to do half more garlic and a half more salt and pepper. This is so delicious, guys. It's hard when you double recipes to know exactly how much seasonings, because you would think you just double it, but no. It's always a little different. All right. Oh, this looks so good. All right, I'm fixing to move it over to a 9x13. Now, normally I would just mix the green beans in the casserole dish, but I really wanted to check out this sauce, and I'm kind of in a hurry. So I thought I'd mix it all together and check it out. Now, if you got a lot of watery liquid, that means you're going to have a lot of watery liquid in your casserole dish. So I'm going to continue to let this simmer just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to move it over. So while I'm waiting, I want to see if you guys have questions for me. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Ricky's phone's ringing. Thank you guys so much for your prayers. You just have no idea. I know I've thanked you over and over and over for the past 16 months because it's been a 16-month journey. But we got to the end, and that is at complete peace. No pain, no suffering, complete peace. And one thing that was absolutely beautiful about our service was at the cemetery, literally immediately when we started to disperse, a cloud, an angel. I'm telling you, it looks just like an angel. I posted it yesterday. An angel in cloud formation, the only cloud in the sky, was right above the plot. So it was just absolutely beautiful. And of course, I know where Dad is, so that's not a question. But it was just like he was bringing us peace. Like he's good. Like we're good. It was just absolutely beautiful. The music was beautiful. The service was beautiful. The preacher did a fantastic job. I actually got to speak on behalf of my dad to honor him, and I didn't know if I could do it, but somehow or another I did it. Again, God's strength. And I just know my dad would have been so proud if he was here, and I feel like he was in heaven watching above. Went back to work today, first day back to work. It definitely felt weird. Last night I just really had a struggle trying to figure out how to get up in the morning. Not that I don't want to get up, it's just I felt like, I don't want to get emotional, but it was just before I went to bed, I'm like, tomorrow's Monday, my favorite day of the week, but we're just going to get up and go back to work. And kind of felt like in a second that we're just moving along. But in reality, life is going to be different. And that's exactly what Dad would want. He would want us to keep going and to not just get up and go to work, but get up and do the things we love. To get up and continue this. Like I love this page. I love all you guys. I love helping people. And Dad loved that I did this. So I was really excited to get home to do my video. And last night I just felt this uneasy feeling. But today it was a great day. It was a day, it felt good. It felt good to get up and have responsibility other than healthcare. And and it was good. The angel was absolutely beautiful, Sandy. If you guys didn't see that picture yesterday, you've got to go back to my page and just scroll, because it was absolutely beautiful. My mom always said that she wished she could be a fly on the wall. And all through her funeral and burial, there was a fly on the casket. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Suzanne. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that funny? Oh, Tina had this for supper too. We made double. I'm making double too, but I'm making it to share with my granny and my mom. Mama's doing really good, Rhonda. Hey, Lisa, there's my mama right there. Yes, it did feel good. It did, didn't it, Mom? It felt good just to get up and have some responsibility. So I'm so glad I didn't get emotional, Mom. I love you. It was absolutely beautiful. So you guys, if you didn't see that angel that appeared, I mean, it was like immediately. We were just like chatting with the preacher and giving hugs to the family. And then all of a sudden the preacher said, his name's J. Mark. He's a cowboy preacher, actually. And that's a long story. I'll have to tell you another day. But he said, oh my gosh, there's an angel in the sky. And Mom looked up, and they were closer to the tent, and I was on the other side, so I didn't see it. I didn't know what they were talking about. So I rushed over there, and I was like, I don't have my phone. And J. Mark took a picture of it, and he texted it to me and Mom so we'd have it. And it was just absolutely beautiful. So you guys see my mom just joined us, Lisa Grace there. She is one strong woman, I'm telling you, strong woman. She is my role model, my best friend, my mom. Now I'm going to get emotional, so I'm going to quit that. But she's amazing. She's amazing and strong. Our faith is what makes us so strong. Our faith and our family unit. So one thing I want to say before we get off, all I'm doing now is moving this casserole over to a casserole dish, and I will top it off with some mozzarella and some cheddar. But the last thing I want to say before I get off, guys, is that if you have family members that you want to be closer to, you have the ability to do it. You might not be successful depending on what is going on between you, but I can promise you, if you do the things you know you need to do, which could be apologize, which could be taking the adult side, doing things. Sometimes action is so much more than words. Like, do something. Send apology letters. Send I miss you letters. Like, schedule a dinner. And you know what? If you schedule dinners and they keep saying, no, I'm busy, but you don't give up. You just keep going. Like, you can create closer relationships, because faith and the closeness of our family is what is absolutely the magic in our family. Faith and family ties. That is what is magic. So guys, you can do it. You can do it, I promise. And it might not be easy, and you might get your feelings hurt because I may not be on the same page with you, but keep going, keep going, keep going. And action is so much better than words. But cards of apology, phone calls of apology, even if you're leaving voice messages, just do your thing. Do your thing and create those, the family relationships you want, because it's never too late until it's too late. So don't let that happen. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. Y'all have an awesome night. If I can help you in any way, make sure you send me a message. Mom, I'll have dinner tomorrow. All right, guys, bye.